All right, so we will continue with some more percentage questions. Let's go. If a number is raised by 40% and the result is 70, what is that number? All right, so as usual, there's a setup that we must follow. If a number, let's call it x, if x is raised by 40% and the result is 70. All right, so this is our setup. If x is raised by 40%, the result is 70. What is x? Now that we have our setup, we can proceed with making x the subject of the formula. All right, so we can convert this to one clean number, which is 1 plus the decimal form of this, which is 0.4 equals 70. All right, so it's going to be x 1.4 equal 70. To know what x is, we must get rid of the 1.4. Because it's being multiplied by the x, we're going to have to divide everything, as in both sides, by 1.4 in order to get the answer we want. So, divide both sides by 1.4, and which this arrow means, which implies that x is equal to 70 over 1.4, which is in fact 50. You can put that in your calculator. Let me just write this clear so you can see. Hold on. My apologies. All right, so as you can see, x is raised by 40%, which is represented as 1 plus 40% is equal to 70. We clean this up, converting this to decimal, and then adding it to 1, and we have 1.4. X multiplied by 1.4 is equal to 70. We want x by itself. We divide both sides by 1.4, which implies that x is equal to 50. So when we raise 50 by 40%, we should get 70. All right, great. Next example. If x is raised by 90% and the result is 40, what is x? It's a similar setup to the above. It's going to be x, but this time they actually call it x and not a number. Alright, so x raised by 90% is equal to 40. Clean this up, we have x multiplied by 1.9. Because we divide this 90 by 100 to convert it to decimal, it becomes 0.9. 0.9 plus 1 equal 1.9 equal to 40. To get x by itself, we divide both sides by 1.9, which implies that x is equal to 40 over 1.9, which is equal to 21.0526. Round this up to 3 decimal places, the result will be 21.053, because the 6 is greater than or equal to 5. When we round to the 1 to 3rd decimal place, we add 1 to the 2. And that concludes that. Alright, it's basically the exact same examples taking place. All right, cool. Another question. When y is reduced by a quarter, the result is 9. What is y? So we write this out as when y is reduced by a quarter, the result is 9. Okay? We can leave it as such. This is fine. So now we do the subtraction. 1 minus a quarter is 3/4 equal 9. Divide both sides by 3/4. This cancels this. When you're multiplying a whole number by a fraction, when you're dividing a whole number by a fraction, you multiply it by the reciprocal. Remember that from the first chapter. This is 3, this is 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Therefore, y is equal to 12. Alright, I hope this wasn't too fast or too messy for you. Let's go through it one more time. When y is reduced by a quarter, the result is 9. We always do the setup. Y reduce by a quarter. So when we're reducing by a percentage or a fraction, it's always 1 minus that particular fraction equal 9. Then we let y be the subject. We calculate this difference, which is 3/4 equal to 9. Divide both sides by 3/4 to get y by itself. When 9 is divided by 3/4, it's multiplied by its reciprocal, which is all equal to 12. Therefore, y is equal to 12. We just write it neatly here. Alright? And the last question is 45% of z is 50. What is z? Alright, so z or z multiplied by 45%, always remember the setup, is 50. So z is the initial number and 50 is the result. Alright, we convert this here to decimal. So z multiplied by 0.45 equal 50. To get z by itself, because we're multiplying, we must divide to get rid of this. So we divide both sides by 0.45. Therefore, z is equal to, put that in your calculator, put this in your calculator, the result will be 111.111111. Yeah, it's a really funny example, but yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for more lessons from J Squared Tutorials.